Yogis. Hi, I'm Angie with Harmony Yoga, and we're going to be working on a beautiful 30-minute or so restorative practice. And restorative practice is a little bit different than some other yoga practices if you're not familiar with this. So in our yoga practice, we have more of an active practice, things like your vinyasa, your sun salutations, things that create more vitality in the body. Then you have yin, which is more of a passive resistance, and then you move into a restorative practice, which is more passive. So although there is alignment involved, it's more about finding that ease and comfort in your body, kind of settling in. So if you would imagine, if you have pets, they kind of pounce and prod and they circle a couple of times until they find that just right space. Restorative is very similar to that. So it's really giving you the possible postures and then having you give yourself some time to come into a space that's very conducive and comfortable for your body. So things that you'll need today. A couple of blocks are ideal. If you don't have blocks, things that could work instead of blocks would be books, Tupperware, something with a little bit of sturdiness to it, because we will be using some elevation in this practice. Another great thing to have in our practice today would be a bolster. Now, if you don't have a bolster, things that could work instead of a bolster would be a chair cushion, a couch cushion, even a firm body pillow. And then the last two things we'll need would be a couple of lap blankets, Indian blankets, anything that you might have to add a little bit of not only comfort to your body, a little bit of warmth, and also for creating a little bit of elevation if you need it. So those are the things we'll need. Grab those things and be right back here. We're going to have a great practice. And just to start our practice, and this isn't always a traditional way to start a restorative practice, but just for me and my own body, if I'm going to come into a nice, solid, grounding practice, I need just a little bit of release of energy. So we're actually going to start today's practice just by releasing some energy, just moving through a few fluid sun salutations. So if you're familiar with that practice, you can go ahead and come to the front of your mat. If you know you need props, books, blocks, things that you might need, go ahead and have those and set those at the front of the mat. So I'll go ahead and move these things out of the way. We'll be using those here in just a moment. And we're going to go ahead and come right to the front of our mat. Blocks if you need them. So when you're ready, go ahead and come to the front of your mat. And then just take a moment here. Begin to feel your feet ground to the earth. You can rock forward and backward on the ball of feet, just creating that connection with the earth. So getting that sensation in the body, really rooting and grounding. Take a few shoulder rolls back and down, and then let your shoulders melt down your back. Reach the fingertips toward the earth and allow the palms to rotate outward, opening up the heart, releasing the tailbone down. And then imagine drawing the thighs slightly together. And breathe. We'll take one more breath here. Slight bend to the knees. Inhale the arms up overhead. As you exhale, release heart space. From heart space, inhale up to the midline. As you exhale, dive forward, come forward. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold, nice long spine. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, either with your blocks or without. Root your hands on either side of your feet and step it back into plank pose. As we step back into plank pose, wrists directly underneath the shoulders, heels drawing away from the body. So don't keep, sometimes I see in class, people keep their bum way up high. I want you to begin to roll forward on the toes and see if you can allow the shoulders to rest over the wrists. Draw the heels away from the body, create some integrity and strength in the body. Don't lock out the joints here. Take a slight bend to the elbows. We'll take one more breath here. We're going to go in through a few modified, dropping to the knees, bending the elbows, and lowering all the way down onto the belly. Thumbs to the top of the ribs, shoulder blades rolling back and down, elbows over the wrist. Walk your feet away from your body to create space in the low back. Press the top of the feet into your mat. Contract your quadricep muscles, and when you're ready, begin to inhale to lengthen them off. So as we come into Bhujangasana Cobra, we're lengthening the spine, not lifting. Give your head a little shake, release that. And as you exhale, release down. Bend your knees, push your palms into the mat. Tuck your toes, send those sit bones high, down dog. And as we come into a dog today, we're just going to go ahead and trend through the feet. Create just a little bit of movement and release. Go ahead and come back to stillness. Let the shoulder blades roll back and down. Lengthen long through the spine. One more breath here. And then mindfully step forward to meet your hands. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Hands can be at the feet, the shins, the quads, but I want you to create that space in your spine. So a nice long spine here. Gazes down, space between the crown and the tailbone. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. And in this space, you can bend strongly through the knees if that feels good. You can rock forward and backward on the feet. So just taking some time here to release the body. Go ahead and come back to stillness. You can wrap your hands around the back of the calves, and in time begin to straighten out through the body, coming into a deeper variation or wherever you need to be. One more breath here. Bend the knees, arms to the side. Inhale the arms up overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, release heart space. From heart space, inhale up to the midline. As you exhale, dive forward, come forward. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Root your hands and step back this time with the opposite leg coming into plank pose. Again, working on trying to really find the integrity and strength in your core. So in time, allowing the elbows, allowing the wrists to breathe directly underneath the shoulders, heels draw away from the body. One more breath here. Drop to the knees, bend your elbows, lower down onto the belly. Thumbs to the top of the ribs, shoulder blades rolling back and down, creating space and a low back by walking your feet away from your body. And as you inhale, lengthen long through the spine. Give your head a little shake to release the muscles of the head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, release it down. Bend your knees, press your palms into the mat. Tuck the toes, send those sit bones high, down dog. And go ahead and create a little bit of movement here. You can move between plank and dog if that feels good. Just taking some time here, extend a leg or so. So just giving yourself some permission to loosen up the body before we come into some of those longer passive holds. One more breath here. Mindfully step forward to meet your hands. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Bend the knees. Inhale the arms up overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, release heart space. Inhale the hands up through the midline. As you exhale, dive forward, come forward. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back with the right leg. Release it down. We come into low lunge. Inhale brings us back to center, down through the midline. Release your hands on either side of that front foot. Tuck the back toe, raise that knee, step it back, plank pose. From plank pose, roll forward on the toes. Now, you have the option here to come into full form, or you can continue to drop through the knees. If you are coming forward, roll forward on the toes, bend the elbows, keep the arms close to the side, scoop the chest to the gate of the shoulders, coming into upward facing dog. Bring your gaze upward as your head and neck allow. Rolling on the toes, send the sit bones up and back, down dog. Go ahead and tread through the feet. Come back to stillness. Inhale the right leg up, bend the knee and step it forward. Release the back knee down, coming into low lunge. Open that heart. Inhale brings us back to center, down through the midline, hands on either side. Tuck that back toe, raise the knee and step it forward. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Bend the knees. Inhale the arms up overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, release heart space. From heart space, inhale up the midline. As you exhale, dive forward, come forward. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Root your hands and step back with the right leg. Drop the back knee, open up the heart, low lunge. Inhale brings us back to center, down through the midline. Hands on either side of that front foot. Raise that back knee. Step the front foot back, coming into plank pose. From here, either from the knees or from the toes, roll forward, bend the elbows, scoop the chest to the gate of the shoulders. Heart space shines, coming into upward facing dog. Rolling on the toes, so the sit bones up and back, down dog. Go ahead and tread through the feet, create a little bit of movement here. And when you're ready, begin to come to stillness, raise that right leg up, bend the knee, step it forward. Release the back knee down, open your heart, low lunge. Inhale brings us back to center, right down to the midline. Hands on either side of that front foot, tuck the back toe, raise that knee and step it forward. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Bend the knees, inhale the arms up overhead. Palms come together, exhale, release heart space. From heart space, inhale up to the midline. As you exhale, dive forward, come forward. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Bend strongly through the knees and create a little bit of rocking motion. Go ahead and bring this rocking motion back to stillness. Root your hands on either side of your feet. Step one foot back and then the other into plank. Drop to the knees and release the hips toward the heels. Go ahead and rotate through the wrists and release it out. Take a pause here. And coming into active child's pose, starting here. last 3, last 2, and last breath. We'll go ahead and bring it right back to center. Now we've just released our body a little bit, gotten the energy flowing, create just a little bit of openness and expansion for our bodies. So now we're going to come into more of a grounding practice. So using our props to come into these longer held postures, more passive held postures, and really taking in all the benefits that these postures have for our body. So the first one we'll be coming into today is Child's Pose. Now in Child's Pose, I'm going to be using my bolster. It's a nice way to come into Child's Pose, but if you want to come into a traditional Child's Pose, you can certainly do that. You can roll a blanket and place it underneath the knees for a little added support. You can also place a folded blanket underneath the knees. So if you do have any sensitivity, add the things that you need to come into this posture that feels the very best for you. If you've never used a bolster or a body pillow or a chair cushion, couch cushion, you can go ahead and give that a try. And if it isn't for you, then just kick it to the side and come to that space that feels best for you. So if you are coming into this practice, having those extra supports as you need them, you start basically just by straddling your bolster, body pillow, or whatever you're using, and then just begin to walk yourself down. The bolster is supporting your torso, and it's just a really nice way to come into this space. Now if you come in and it still doesn't feel quite right for you, you can place a folded blanket underneath the knees or finding that extra support that you need. You can wrap your arms around your bolster, body pillow, chair cushion, couch cushion, and then I just want you to begin to allow yourself to melt into this. So give yourself some time to just melt. If you want to try a different position of the head and neck, you can bring your gaze across the body and just see how that feels. I want you just to take some slow, steady, deep breaths here. So you can allow yourself to melt into this. So we've gone from more activity and now we're coming into stillness. So just taking a pause here and just observing the differences between those two different spaces. I can hear my heart beating. Just take a pause and listen to your body. We've got about 5 more rounds of breath here. Last 3, last 2, and last breath. We're going to go ahead and press our hands into our mat and begin to bring ourselves upright. As we come into the next space in our bodies, we're going to still use that same bolster, couch cushion. Body pillow, I'm not sure if it will work so well. And we're just going to begin to extend the legs nice and wide. We're going to begin to rest the forehead on the bolster upright, or if you have a very firm couch cushion or chair cushion, this can work. If it doesn't work for you, improvise as best as you can or omit this pose. So for those of you continuing on, you begin to bring your bolster at an angle and just rest your third eye position right there. Hands placed in front. And then just take a moment here. So as you feel the pressure of the third eye position, begin to have more intuition, more self-focus, bringing yourself deeper into your practice. When you're ready, you can begin to allow the eyes to soften and close, and as you do this, begin to close off outside distractions. Begin to draw your awareness inward. Begin to observe the rhythm of the heart. And as you observe how your breath is moving in your body, beginning to allow your breath to slow and deepen. Let it move deeper into the base of the lungs. And each and every time you inhale, allow the rib cage to expand from side to side, front to back, top to bottom. Observing the breath as you draw it up through the spine. Pausing for a bit of breath retention, and then audibly or silently release the breath, let it go. Got about 5 more rounds of breath here. Last 3, last 2, and last breath. We're going to go ahead and bring our right back to center. We go ahead and move ourselves into our next posture. So go ahead and have your body pillow, bolster, chair cushion right beside you. And we're just going to begin to come onto our side. Now this is where a block or pillow come in handy. So we're going to be using this to support the head and neck. You can lie on your side and then extend your arm out, palm facing upward. Your hips are stacked and you're just going to find the space first. Once you have the space in your body, go ahead and move that support close to your body. And you go ahead and bring the top leg up overhead. So you're basically straddling that support. And you can stay here on your side if that feels really good to you. And as you move into these different postures, you can certainly add more blankets where you need them. So finding the space to add blankets where you need them. And then as you come into the space, if you're feeling like you want a little more open heart here, you can begin to rotate through the torso, extending out through the arms. So this is creating a slight twist, good for bringing awareness into the organs, specifically the kidneys and the liver. Light compression there to draw toxins out of the body, fresh blood in. And as you come into this space, you begin to allow the eyes to soften and close. And so whether you're twisted, open-hearted, or basically just straddling your bolster, either one is okay. Remembering that this is all about you, your practice, your body. So I want you to come into the space that feels best for you. And we're just going to melt into this space. So just letting your body release completely with your breath. Your body begins to soften. And as you breathe into the body, I want you to imagine beautiful, big, full breath. And then as this breath happens in the body, I want you to begin to guide the breath to the space that needs that opening and release. In your mind's eye, watch it flow to that space. And as you release the breath, imagine that space opening and releasing. Feel the body just begin to soften and melt into these postures. So just not forcing. The mind is very silent here. The body just moves as it needs to move. About 5 more rounds of breath here. And if you want to stay longer, you can certainly stay longer. So just for time, taking just enough time in each posture. So try to keep this fluid with your body. Last 3, last 2, and last breath. Mindfully begin to come back onto your side body if you weren't already there. Release your leg, and we're going to remove that support underneath the head and neck. And we're just going to begin to, so you can see me, stretch out, bring the top arm up overhead, grab onto the wrist, and just take a nice side body stretch. And breathe. About 3 to 5 rounds of breath here, just letting yourself melt. And release. Now you can stay exactly where you are, just so that you can see me on the video. I'm going to go ahead and move to my other side. This creates a little bit more awareness as you're watching at your own home studio. But you can certainly stay exactly where you are. So we're just going to move to the other side. Coming down onto your other side and using your pillow, your block for support. Bringing your bolster close to your body or whatever you're using for support. Bring the top leg up overhead and basically just straddling that body pillow, bolster, chair cushion, whatever you have. And start here, just see how your body feels. Adjust that support as you need to. You need to add a blanket here or there. So knowing that this practice is about finding the comfort and needs in your body. So each person is going to experience this a little bit differently. So add the creature comforts you need to feel amazing. Once you're in this space, if you want to move into that more open-hearted space, begin to allow the arms to come out to the side as the heart space begins to open. And breathe. Natural soft twist in the torso. So again, you're applying gentle compression to the internal organs, so specifically moving into the kidneys and the liver. So moving waste out, fresh blood in. And breathe. about 5 more rounds of breath here. And if you fall asleep, that's okay. You're about ready to fall asleep. Very relaxed. Last 3, last 2, and last breath. If you have that open-hearted space in your body, you can go ahead and begin to move back to your side body. Remove your support underneath your head, and go ahead and unstraddle your support. We're going to go ahead and come into that nice side body stretch. Bring the top arm up overhead, reaching for the wrist, and just extending nice and long in the body. And breathe. Creating space in the side body. And go ahead and release. Go ahead and roll onto the back. And we're going to be using that again. So placing that support right underneath the thighs. We're going to go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together, coming into bound angle, Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. And we have that support right underneath the thighs because it helps support our body as we come into this pose. Now, if you're a person who comes in this pose and you don't like any supports, you certainly can remove any supports and just come right into this. But I like this because it does help support the legs more so that you're not having to hold that position. You can just melt right into it. So you can also roll a blanket underneath here. And then just kind of find that space that feels right for you. Now, if this doesn't feel good, again, I want you to adjust until you can find that just right space. Pay attention to your low back. If you need to add some support, some folded blankets there, add some folded blankets if you need it. And also on the back of the head, if you want to have a blanket on the back of the head, that's kind of a nice thing to do. So I'm going to do that for me. And I'm going to come back in again. Much better. I'm going to go ahead and place one hand on the abdomen and one hand on the heart. I'm going to breathe together right now. Let the breath drop a little deeper into the base of the lungs. Fill that space in the body with prana and life force. Draw the breath upward to the heart space. Love, kindness, and compassion for yourself and others. And either audibly or silently release the breath, let it go. I want you to move through 4 more rounds. Letting the breath drop a little deeper into the base of the lungs. Feeling the expansion of breath in the body. Drawing the breath upward to the heart space, and audibly or silently release the breath. So moving through 5 rounds of deeper belly breathing. And you can stay with this breathing if you choose to. Or once you've completed your 5 breaths, you can keep your hands exactly where they are. You can bring both hands onto the lower abdominals. You can release the arms out to the side. So find that just right space for your body, wherever that is. And melt. Just let everything go. Let the earth ground you deep. Mind is still. Breath is deep. Body's really deeply relaxed. So every inhale, creating more space in mind and body. And as you exhale, find that beautiful melting point of surrender. Got about 5 more rounds of breath here. Last 3, last 2, and last breath. Mindfully begin to draw the knees together. And we're just going to go ahead and change now your supports. We're going to walk the legs up the supports and just let the legs be supported. You might need to readjust the support underneath your head. And if you feel like you need a little added support underneath the tailbone, you can certainly add support there. Again, we're going to come into this space of mindfulness. You have a couple options for your legs. You can cross the legs one way or the other way. You can leave the legs extended out. You can just find that space that feels right for you, wiggling out through the feet, and then just letting your body once again melt into this space. As you breathe into the body, breathe in peace. As you breathe out peace. As you breathe into the body, breathe in tranquility. And as you breathe out tranquility. As you breathe in, deepen the cells, the organs, the tissues, relaxation of mind, body, and spirit. And as you release the breath, releasing out, relaxation, and breathe. Got 5 more rounds of breath here. Last 3, last 2, and last breath. Begin to wiggle through the feet. Bring the arms up overhead. Take a nice strong breath, and then begin to draw the right knee into the body. Take a soft bend to that knee, and just release that hip a little bit. You can rotate the ankle in both directions if that feels good. Coming into a little bit of flexion as you draw the toes toward the body and away. And we're going to take this into a twist. I'm going to place the sole of the right foot on the left quad, place the left hand on the right knee, and just help to guide your knee across the body. Now your bottom leg will probably come off your support, and that's okay. Have a support for the knee, so we're not coming into the fullest expression here, unless that's where you really want to go. We're just kind of letting the body release with the breath. Bring your arms out. You can look across your body, coming into imposing twist. 3 more rounds of breath here. Last 2. And last breath, we go ahead and bring it right back to center. Hug that knee in, and then we rotate to the other side. So extend that leg nice and long. This time drawing the left knee in toward the body, and releasing. Make some ankle rotations in both directions. Draw the toes toward the body and away. Take a few moments here, just letting that hip release. And then placing the sole of the left foot on the right quad. Right hand on left knee, inhale, and as you exhale, letting it cross the midline. And then having some support. Again, your leg will probably come off, and that's okay. Arms come out to the side. Bring your gaze across the body, opposing that twist. Again, moving through some nice abdominal twisting, really allowing the blood to flow to the organs, moving waist out, blood in. Last 3, last 2, and last breath. We bring the gaze right back to center. Draw that knee in, hug it in one more time, and release. Go ahead and roll to your side, and we'll go ahead and come up into an upright position. And we'll begin to use the bolster, body pillow, or support. Now, as we come into this posture, again, you can certainly fold a blanket and place a blanket at the base of your support. Just adds a little bit more comfort for your sit bones. And have that secondary blanket as you need it, maybe for the head and neck, maybe to cover the body. Bring the sit bones nice and close to your supports, and when you're ready, begin to lower all the way down. Now, this might be too much of an intense back bend for your body, so you can bring elevation underneath your sit bones until you have that just right. So we're moving into a nice heart opening posture. So closing the practice today with this nice heart opening posture. Now you have options for the legs. You can extend the legs out. And if that doesn't feel really good to your body, you can roll a blanket and place a rolled blanket or a folded blanket underneath the knees. You can also come back into that bound angle. So you have several options here. Find the option that feels best, and then as you come into adding a little bit of warmth to the body, you can just go ahead and cover the entire body up with a blanket. So several options here to come into this practice. Arms can be at your side, they can be on the belly, they can be up overhead. So again, I want you to come into that space that feels best for you. Begin to allow the shoulders to roll back and down. Allow the feet to gently roll out to the side. Heart space is open, allowing the breath to, again, slow and deepen. As you come into this space, once again, allow the eyes to soften and close. Begin to close off outside distractions and draw your awareness inward. As you draw your awareness inward, focusing on the content and the quality of your breath. Allowing your breath to move deep into the body, the cells, the organs, the tissues. Filling everything up with life force and prana, and as you release the breath, that beautiful surrender of letting go. Letting all the muscles release, letting your body come into this space. If you'd like to begin to bring the palms together at heart space, allowing the fingertips to point upward, you can begin to set an intention for the rest of your day. If you're using this as an evening restorative, you can set an intention of a beautiful, deep, and restful sleep. If you're using this practice more in the beginning of your day, you can use this as an intention to set the goals for where you need to be with your day today. Take a moment or two here for reflection. And then begin to bring the palms up overhead. Reach long, extend, and then just allow your arms to rest at your side. So wherever your arms come to is where they need to be. Continue to allow the breath to slow and deepen. As you breathe into the body, think of restful relaxation, calm, peacefulness. As you release the breath, allow yourself to sink a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper, letting go. You have arrived in our final posture of the day, moving into Shavasana. You can stay here for as long as you need to, and know that if you ever need to return to this, stay exactly where you are, and stay for as long as you need to. And this was your 30-minute or so beautiful restorative practice for morning or evening. From my heart to yours, yogis. Namaste.